Well, it looks like whether the next Pokemon games are Generation 7 or Generation 6 Part 2, they're on their way, and they're packing heat. Or should I say magic? What's going on, Shiny Crew? I'm the TheSilverSlasher, and on February 10th, 2016, CoroCoro magazine leaked showing the first brand new Pokemon we've seen since 2013, and that's Magiana. It could be Magiana, but for the sake of this video, I'll say Magiana, and you'll see why eventually. All we really know about this thing so far is its height and weight, that it's a legendary Pokemon, and that it was made by humans 500 years ago. Something that a lot of people jump to when looking at this thing is how similar it looks to Diancie, which got me thinking, which of course led to this video. One last thing that's been confirmed about Magiana is that it will be in the Volcanion movie, known as Volcanion and the Contriving Magiana. Many Pokemon fans have written this off as something unimportant, failing to realize that this is what I think may be the most important thing in the entire leak. In my eyes, this suggests two huge things. Number one, our next games are going to be Generation 6 Part 2. The fact that Mega Evolutions and Volcanion are the primary focus on the cover just screams Generation 6, not to mention that every Mega shown is from X and Y. Ignore Ash Greninja because for now that's just from the anime. As a quick aside, and this is important, so remember this. In this movie, Volcanion is trying to track down Magiana for a reason we don't yet know. Secondly, I think the placement of the Pokemon on the poster is a hint to what they're trying to do. We recently learned all about Zygarde's forms, with the most important of those forms obviously being its perfect form. A conclusion that most people seem to agree on is that Zygarde must go through some sort of fusion or absorption process with Xerneas and Yveltal to reach this form, as demonstrated by how half of it is red and half of it is blue. The lore behind this perfect form is that Zygarde attains it when he feels the world needs help, and Volcanion's lore shows that it hates humans, so it makes sense that it would be attacking them, right? In their normal forms, both Pokemon have a base stat total of 600, so if Zygarde goes into his perfect form, he'd be significantly stronger than Volcanion, and there'd be no real fight. Do you see what I'm getting at here? Let me try to make this a little more obvious. That's right. I think Volcanion is tracking down Magiana in this movie in order to link with it to attain its very own perfect form. Is it really too hard to imagine that these legs can slide inside of the Pokemon, giving it room to fit perfectly in the circle-shaped spot on Volcanion? Just look at its chest. It bears a circle that is half blue and half pinkish red, just like Volcanion. The finishing touch? Major speculation has gone on that Volcanion was man-made as well. I mean, just look at the design. It doesn't look natural at all. It looks like it was just put together. And its distinguishing feature is a special organ that can turn water into vapor. What organ would that be? A man-made one. What if these two were made by the same group of people, and specifically designed to be able to fuse in this way? This also explains why Volcanion would know about Magiana in the first place and be looking for it. The more you think about this theory, the more it starts to reveal that this has to be it. The two perfect forms have to meet in battle. And giving it a perfect form would just make sense, wouldn't it? Diancie got a Mega Evolution since it came out during the cycle of the games that introduced Mega Evolution, Hoopa got a new form, an existing feature, because it came out during the cycle of a remake, and Volcanion will get a perfect form to counteract Zygarde's brand new form in this all-new game, part of Pokemon Generation 6. So why do I keep calling this Part 2 of Generation 6? Many theories have come out that the reason X and Y had so few entirely new Pokemon is because the next part of Generation 6 is going to take place off of one of these edges of the map, and reveal East Kalos, or something of the like. Now, on to why this looks like Diancie. Legend has it that Diancie mutated from Carbink, right? So, what if East Kalos witnessed this special mythical mutation of Carbink in the western half, and just created their own in its likeness? Going back to the movie, Magiana is said to be with the Azoth Kingdom, which is described as a city of super machinery, which, if it was them, means it's pretty likely that they'd have the materials and knowledge to be able to pull this off. I know I'm repeating myself here, but every single theory we've been unable to prove and every mystery we've been unable to crack fits in the story as its own piece of the puzzle. Hell, let's drag another theory into this. In that interview from a couple months ago with JC Smith, who works for the Pokemon Company International, he said that the future of Pokemon involves flowers, the Kingdom of Azoth, AZ, Floette. It's all here! I've cracked the code! Obviously, I'm going a little crazy here, and in fact, I'm shaking right now because this all fits together so well. The last thing I want to cover is just a little something that I thought of, and I don't necessarily believe it's true, but it's a fun little thought. For some reason, and this is probably the thing people are most curious about, Magiana was revealed without its typing. A lot have jumped to Steel Fairy, which would certainly make sense with it being based off of Diancie, and I actually think that's probably how it's going to happen, especially taking how the rest of this theory goes into consideration. But when I think of a Pokemon specifically getting revealed without its type, my mind immediately goes to one place: Sylveon. And what's significant about Sylveon? It was the first new fairy type to be revealed to us. This is why I've been calling this thing Magiana. What if this second part of Generation 6 gives us another new type, namely Magic type? This seems like the perfect hint, and many people were confused by GameFreak balancing a type with 2 weaknesses by adding a type with 2 weaknesses, but this explains it. If this new type is strong against Fairy, and maybe even weak to Dragon, it would be the perfect Triforce of type balancing. Not to mention that the last time we got a new type, there were 2 of them, Steel and Dark, both of which were introduced to counter the most overpowered type in the game. Like I said, it's a little unlikely, but it's an interesting thought. In conclusion, guys, I know I may be stretching it, but right now, it kind of seems like I may have cracked the code, and if I have, I cannot wait to watch Perfect Form Volcanion take on Perfect Form Zygarde in Pokemon Generation 6, Part 2. Thank you so much for watching this theory, guys. Every step from scripting to recording to editing has been completely exhausting, but I'm so excited that I've finally been able to link all of these things together. If you enjoyed, I need you to slash that like button and share this video with everyone you've ever known, and feel free to subscribe for daily Pokemon content. This has been the Silver Slasher Wade Silver, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out. I'm on to you, Game Freak. Hit me with your best shot.